What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to On the Warpath. This is your boy Sanchez 405. If you're new, make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime there's new content posted. And as always, like, comment, share this video out because y'all know what we do here. We talk about the Washington Commanders, and haven't done one of these in a while, but it is the aptly named Monday After Pill, and we'll wait for a few folks to get into the room. But today we're just going to talk about a little bit more in depth, some thoughts from last night, some thoughts from today, as we got breaking news on the Deron Payne front, on the defensive coordinator front as well. So we will dive in all that. Paul is supposed to be joining us here momentarily. We'll talk about that. And yeah, man, but it is it's not a good day. It's not a good season. It is reminiscent a lot of 2023, and it seems like we continue to reinvent the rock bottom wheel. And I think that what the stat is, we're the first team since the 2002 Arizona Cardinals to get blown out by 20 or more points in 4 consecutive games. This is our fate. And I'll be honest with you, y'all, it's going to be a lot of reminiscing on this episode, and questioning a lot of things. And I am, which I don't do a lot. I will open the floor up to everybody to come on in here, and we'll talk about what really happened this long. I want to get y'all's thoughts too on what happened last night, and where do we go from here? Do you think the season's over? I think the majority would say yes, the season is over, and it's time to look to 2026. I felt like that after the Seattle game, because there's no hope at this point. And we're very revisionist. Everybody's ready to fire Dan Quinn. Everybody's ready to fire defense coordinator, which that is part of the news, that Dan Quinn will assume defensive coordinator play calling. He says he's going to take over the role of defense coordinator. He's going to be the defensive play caller. And last time we saw a head coach do that was Ron Rivera in his last year, and he got ready to take on the Miami Dolphins. Dan Quinn is getting ready to take on the Miami Dolphins. So we're going to see what happens here with this team going forward, man. It is it's crazy to think that we are at this point in time where we were looking last year. We were staring a 3-game losing streak in the face, and we had questions. We were coming off a loss against Pittsburgh, and we were questioning our fate. And we were getting ready to take a shellacking on, well, not a shellacking, but a loss on Thursday Night Football. We were in the midst of it. We didn't complete that 3-game losing streak, but we're at the beginning of it. And there's a lot of things that are different. I said last night on the stream that last year, this time, we were +5 in turnover margin. This year, we are -6. That's not how you win ball games, boys and girls. You can't force turnovers, and that masked a lot. The offense did a lot to not turn over the ball. What's up, Art? How you feeling, buddy? The offense did a lot to keep the ball in the possession of them, and the defense had occasional turnovers, right? They are kind of on par. I think they're 2 turnovers less than where they were this time last year, but they were making differences. They scored. I mean, Dante Fowler had a pick 6 for a touchdown against Carolina, right? So we saw opportunities from them last year, but and I mean, probably the culminating event was against this very team that we played last night against the Detroit Lions. It was a 45-31 victory against the Lions in Detroit, and we forced 5 turnovers in that victory. Although we gave up 31 points, we had enough opportunities to help our offense out, give them shorter field. That's not happening this year, and we can allude to the fact that it's in the front office, right? It is the fact that Adam Peters and company did not do enough. Dan Quinn did not do enough to get these guys ready, and his coaching staff did not do enough. The players, and I sit here and think about it. What has changed from last year? Front office has stayed the same. The coaching staff has stayed the same. But a majority of the players, key role players, are gone. Olamide Zaccheaus is gone from last year. You lost your second Russian, Brian Robinson, whether that was deserved or not. I'm not saying that I won't be right back, but he's out of the fold. Jeremy Chin is out of the fold. De'Ami Brown is out of the fold. And, while De'Ami did have those fumbles in the NFC Championship game, he helped get us to that point. Had a big catch against Detroit, had a touchdown reception against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he put together a career year for the Burgundy and Gold, under the Burgundy and Gold. And you could say maybe it's contract year. That's why Deron Payne was playing kind of out of his mind at the beginning of the season. Well, we never know. We never know. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let's see here. But so let's take a look at this. Let's just dive into this game. And the first thing that just leaps out of mind to me is that Detroit scored on every single drives. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, bro. They scored on every single drive. There, and this is where I want to get to the nuts and bolts of everything is they should have done that. They should have done that. They should have scored on every drive. Why? Because this defense is made out of paper mache and craft crayons. If this was a defense that's playing at college, you would play at the University of the Helen Keller Deaf and Blind. So I see that they talked about Dan Campbell calling the plays and everything. And he looked great. He looked great. He should. He should. This team could not stop a corpse at a funeral home. And we've proven that over the last 4 weeks. Mr. Biting Kneecaps should have called the game that he did. Jameson Williams should have went off. He did. The running back should have went. Jahmyr Gibbs should have went off, and he did. So I'm not going to sit here and be despondent about it. But I'm like, everybody that's touting him, I said, look, put him up against a good defense. I want to see. He should call plays against Minnesota. See how it works. Let's see him call plays against Philadelphia. That's what I want to see. But don't sit here and just let's not play patty ass with him and be like, oh, this is some great accomplishment. It's not. He may have had revenge on the brain. He should have. He should have. Detroit Lions have only been relevant for the last 3 years. They got one NFC Championship appearance in that time. So do we. They're both losses. They were both on the road. Yeah, they were in it, but they found a way to screw it up. Mr. Bite Kneecap found a way to screw it up. So yeah, let's see here. So I was talking about the drive chart, and I'm gonna pull this up here and look at it again. So another 44-22 loss lost against Dallas. Here we go. Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. Boom. Okay, here we go. Hope y'all can see that. I'll zoom in here. Okay. I hate hearing that out loud. Oh, you go. We spare no feelings here, Art. You know that. So let's take a look at Detroit's drives. First drive, it took them 10 plays, 78 yards, touchdown. So on their first 3 drives, they went 65 or more yards and had 9. They had 10, 10. So they basically ran 30 plays, close to 30 plays, and had a touchdown every 10th play. Then they added up a 13-play drive, 64 yards, and a field goal. 5 plays, 72, a touchdown. 9 plays, 72, a field goal. 6 plays, 84 yards, touchdown. Then they had a turnover on downs from us. They went 6 plays, 15 yards, and a field goal. And then had that turnover on downs again. And that we punted the ball. And that was the end of the game. As for us, let's take a look at our drives. 3 plays, 7 yards, punt. 7 plays, 26 yards, field goal. 5 plays, 11 yards, punt. So we did not amass a drive over 30 yards until what? The 9:41 mark of the first. We did a 10-play, 75-yard drive that ended in a touchdown. But don't let that fool you now. Don't let that fool you, because I believe that was a big pass. That was a big pass to Debo, I believe. So don't let that fool you. We had another touchdown, 9 plays, 69 yards, and then 81 yards and a touchdown on 11 plays. Will Dan Quinn's defense get any better? Asked Mr. Cool. What do you? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, and this is to my point, y'all. And I know I joke about I said Deron Payne. I was kind of mad in the moment and really didn't care that he punched Amon-Ra St. Brown in the throat. Honestly, he deserved to get punched in the throat. I got a funny video that I created that I'll show y'all here in a little bit too, of Deron Payne punching Amon-Ra St. Brown in the throat. But with that being said, I don't see how it gets better. You're going to be down to your, third, fourth corner, probably starting outside. You probably going to have to say Sammer's still out there. Jonathan Jones, who looked kind of gassed as well. He was coming back from an injury from the beginning of the season, really hadn't played that much. And then you're going to send him out here to take on Miami. So I don't think it gets better, man. I really don't. And I don't know what he thinks he's accomplished with it. And the only thing I can think of is that the way our team responded to the adversity is that, I'll be honest with you, I think Dan Quinn, come back up here, I think Dan Quinn has lost the locker room. They've been undisciplined before, but these penalties, personal fouls, unsportsmanlike conducts, it just rings of a team that's undisciplined, not prepared, and they've lost the locker room. They have lost the locker room. Now, how you regain it, I don't know. Now, I heard on Chris Russell's show today that somebody says this is Dan Quinn hasn't lost the locker room, but this is a protest on the front office. Now, I'm just going to be the first one to tell you that is the most ignorant ass thing I've heard. And I've heard a lot in my almost 30 years of being a fan of this team. I think it's year 25. Is this year 25? Maybe year 27. I think it's year 27 being a fan. Like just remembering everything. Been a fan since I was a kid. But really remembering all the hard times. It started in 1998 with Art an 0-7 start where yeah. Damn, Lane Johnson got her. Oh, I don't feel sorry for him. Oh, you good, bro? You good? You good? You good, family? Don't apologize. Don't feel bad for him. Don't feel bad for anything that happens to the Eagles, to be honest with you. And that's like what I said last year. I said, we've been here before when we were winning. I'm like, I don't feel sorry for anybody who's in this spot. And this year, I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I don't. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. We don't deserve to be felt sorry for. We decided to sniff ourselves like we were two cats in heat, and we get exactly what we deserve. Is what it is. And it's a shame. It really is, man. It's a shame. I mean, I can't. I don't know how we fell off this far, but I had an inkling. I'm like, I just felt like we did not do enough in the offseason to address our issues. We didn't do enough. We continue to pitter-patter around. Like I said, we believe the hype. We believe our own hype. The fans believe the hype, but that's our job. We're supposed to believe the hype. The media, they believe the hype. And then, I mean, what the team did, the players, the coaches, that's what they touted around. We brought the whole entire coaching staff back. The front office, they brought the entire front office back. Joe Witt and Lance Newmark actually interviewed for jobs with the New York Jets. Lance Newmark, who's the assistant general manager, was a finalist for the job. But he's still here. So is Joe Witt. They should have hired Joe Witt. That would have saved us a lot. But yeah, let's get into this, man. Dan Quinn today announced that he was going to be assuming the role of defense coordinator. And I've got to find this clip right here. You know, in Deuce on Red Zone Lab, he said this the best, man. These people who crashed out with us and went to the Baltimore Ravens and were Baltimore Ravens fans while we were sucking, and the rest of us were just sitting here just like, well, we suck, but we're just going to keep on watching. Like, I'm frustrated. I'm mad, but I'm like, I've seen this all before. It's like, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that we were really good last year. But it did. I lie when I say that. But let's take a look at Dan Quinn's press conference. Whoa. Let's see here. Let's take a look at Dan Quinn. Let's take a listen to it. This was Dan Quinn. This was Dan Quinn when he spoke to the media today. Or how about this? What I'm going to go through, let's take a look at Dan Quinn's press conference from yesterday, because we didn't get a chance to look at it. And because I don't know what was going on with the Commanders YouTube channel and all that good stuff. So let's go find Dan Quinn's press conference. Let's post game. So this was Dan Quinn's press conference yesterday. There we go.
We're way off, and that's up to us to fix that.
No shit.
And also told the team it's for us to go away, get it together. Not the worst thing for us.
Not the worst thing for you. Here we go. This is what his first thing was.
Standards, and we sure as hell aren't coaching or playing up to it.
Yeah, no crap.
We're way off, and that's up to us to fix that. And also told the team it's for us to go away, get it together. Not the worst thing for us. We got to find solutions, where we're at, and doing that together. That's the right space to go do it. So we'll take it on the road tomorrow night, and we got a lot of things to fix. Like I said, we're off course, things to address, and being together is the best way to go do that.
Dan, you've tried different things to fix that defense. None of it has worked. How do you explain that, and how baffled are you by what's going on?
Yeah, we're all obviously disappointed, like just execution, not creating takeaways, the ones to go. And I think, over why you're seeing that, yeah, that's definitely frustrated, and we all are. Baffled, frustrated, all of that, like all those emotions, John, it's accurate. So we got to channel that, into finding the things that we can do well and play that. Because when we can't, like it's, too easy, too difficult, too easy for us, or too difficult, too easy for them, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But play style, identity, like all that, it feels off.
Then what other changes can you even make when you look at that D, whether it's personnel, staff? Are there more things that you can do at this point?
Yeah, I understand you have to ask that. I'm honestly, post-game, I'm not there yet, want to have thoughtful, answers and decisions and personnel, but like I said, I understand you have to ask that, but I'm not there yet to figure it out. So,
what do you mean you're not there? This has happened for 4 consecutive weeks, and you haven't figured it out. You have not figured it out. But for 4 consecutive weeks, you've been bum rushed, beaten, battered, and bruised, but you haven't figured it out. That's like me saying, if I keep on putting my hand on the stove, it gets burned. Wonder why I can't feel my hand anymore. Why is my hand bleeding? Why do I have these scars on my hand? There's a lack of accountability. And this is like real life stuff, not even just from a football standpoint. This is like, there's no accountability. If anybody is that bad at their job and continue, I get the injuries are there. Injuries happen. But we continue to put out low performers, a la like your Bobby Wagners, a la your Quan Martins. We don't give other people a chance. But at this point, who you going to have if you're a man unit? Let's listen to a little bit more about Dan Quinn, as he looks like Santa Claus's tired old coach.
A lot to look at tonight as we get into the week, and we have, this game and then a bye. We've got to put everything we can into this week to make sure we can play like we're capable, fix some of these issues. And so to me, that's like kind of where my tunnel vision is of start with that.
Season's different, and this team's different from last year's team. I just wonder, though, there's still a lot of guys that were here last year.
Yes.
And I just wonder how stunned you are that you all are so far away from where you were last season in terms of not just the results, but just the way you were playing.
Yeah, we definitely are. That's why, like the frustration, man. Like I get that, and it's not an excuse. We got to find a way to channel that frustration, like you saw at the end of the half. Penalties and actions, like we can't have it. It's all coming from that.
You said the same
from
thing.
The frustration, the angst, that feeling, the
frustration,
darkness of it all.
Darkness. Said the same thing.
Yeah, no one saw that obviously coming, DA, about where we're at. But I also told him, like, that's the chapter in. That's where we are, and we have to be the ones to get it out. I'm not saying it's going to go, this much better, but it has to be. And we're the ones to go do that. We got to be the ones to dig it out. And that's why I kind of just want, like, everything I can into this game, this moment, and see what we can go get better at. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, go back.
Planned out Spain for probably months.
Yep.
I just wondered, do you think about changing anything just because of where you are right now?
Well, here you go. I'm going to guess this right now. Well, we're not really at that point. Like I said, David, we got to go look at it. We got to figure some things out. Again, we're frustrated to this point. Yada, 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 something around those lines. Let's hear what Dan Quinn had to say.
No, just the opposite. Like, I'm feeling fortunate that we are hitting the road tonight together. Sometimes when you're going through it, you need everybody together. You talk about it and what's the thing you can do better and you can do. And so if all of us start collectively thinking that way together, it forces you to do that. And so we got a good group, man. Like, you don't want, you have to have these standards that you go to, but like, this is where we're at. And so like, we got to fix it together and solutions. And so by them doing that together, it's fortunate that we're in this time. If we hadn't, I wish we move it up to go and spend as much as we can to get answers, solutions. The practice and the preparation, I thought last week hit the mark. The performance didn't. So there's more to it. It's not, where are we missing? Where are we missing?
I'm sorry. What did he just say? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Performance didn't. Solutions. The practice and the preparation, I thought last week hit the mark. The performance didn't. Solutions. The practice and the preparation, I thought last week hit the mark. The performance didn't. So
the practice and the preparation hit the mark, but the performance did. Kids, I'm going to tell you something. Then it didn't hit the mark. It missed the mark. It missed the mark. If the performance wasn't there, the preparation wasn't shit. It wasn't worth a damn. Like, bro, Dad, what are we doing here?
there's more to it. It's not, where are we missing? Where are we missing? There's like a gap that's taken place, and that's, like I said, it's.
Where are they missing? Oh, and who are they missing? Oh, you got me now. You got me good. Team stats. Let's see. Look. We were 2 of 10. Offensively, we were 2 of 10 on third downs. 2 of 10. We were 3 of 3 on fourth down. Not bad. Well, we had turnover on down. Yeah, guess not. Yeah. They were 5 of 10 defensively, so 50% on third down. They were 2 of 2. They had 8 yards per play. They ran 68 plays. They ran over 220 times, yards-wise. They averaged 6.8 yards. Kids, I'm sorry. Every second play, they were picking up a first down. They only hit 3 penalties for a yard. We had 8. We're 61. Undisciplined. They didn't punt the ball. They're 4 of 6 in the red zone. We were 3 of 3. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Good job. They ran up the gut on us. We couldn't do it against them. And I'm not talking about Seattle, but this is where like a little bit more. I promise, and we're done with this.
It's everybody.
Yeah, no
Understanding
shit.
it's post game, and then you're on a plane in 24 hours. When that bye week does hit, how do you plan to look at kind of big picture stuff then, and what all will that entail?
Yeah, you want to start saying, okay, what are the things featuring the players, put them in the best spots.
Wrong answer right there. Wrong answer right there. We ain't worried about the bye week. We got a game in Madrid that we got to focus on, JP. When we hit the bye, we'll talk about the bye. Wrong answer right there. Wrong answer.
And do their thing. I don't have a sense for who will be back after that, but that will be a factor eventually.
Wrong answer.
But in the meantime, how do we look at just finding ways to improve? And that
Wrong
is
answer.
number one, top of the pile.
Wrong answer.
That means shifting people, personnel, more scheme of this, less of that. Everything's on the table. But in the next 6 days, man, it's just lock in for this. And then while the guys get that break
Wrong
coming
answer.
back, that's the staff
Wrong
part to
damn
say,
answer.
okay, from the view up top, no bias. It looks bad. Why are we not hitting the right spots? And leave that aside to say,
Wrong answer.
this is what it has to look like moving
Wrong answer.
forward. And so that's
Just
kind of
a
the
wrong
headspace
answer.
I'm in. I'm not there to the buy yet,
Okay,
but
there you go. Good answer.
that's my focus this
You're
week.
not
But
in the
there's a
headspace
process
for
to
the
go
buy,
through
but
during that one,
you're responding
and
to the
ours
buy.
will be more lengthy than usual.
Stop it.
But in
Stop.
the meantime, it's short-term solutions for this week to get it better.
Coach,
Where are you?
oh, I'm right here. Ben Sinnott scored his first touchdown since week 7 of
Who
last
gives a
season.
shit?
What are you liking from him so far?
They must not. They mustn't like a lot of Ben Sinnott. They don't play him. They don't get him in the passing game. Zach Ertz and Master John Bates are the only ones who are catching balls half the time.
This season leading up to his touchdown moment, but also to what are you looking for him to improve upon moving
Yes.
forward?
Yep. The group is a good one at tight end. And what I've seen from Ben is more urgency in his play. The confidence has come through. It really almost started on the special team side first, where in the preseason you saw tackles and making plays, and then it kind of
What's
carried
up,
over
Marcus?
into the offense. But see the other players have the belief in him. He's got real speed. He's physical as a blocker. So it was good to see him make the jumps that you want to see a player going from year 1 into year 2. You want that to happen. It doesn't always. So it's good to see him making those improvements and seeing that come to life. It gives you confidence knowing that, okay, he's making the plays to, take it to the next spot. Yep.
You saw some frustrations boil over on the field with
Yes.
Ron and Kinlam. What were your vantage points of those incidents, and how do you keep that from spilling over into the locker room?
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. What did Nikki ask?
It wasn't like spilling over into the locker room. It was more like, I get the frustration.
Hold on.
But
Hold on.
we've got to find a
Hold on.
What
Wait a
were
minute.
your vantage points of those incidents, and
Doesn't always, so it's good to
Here
see
you go.
him making
Hold
those
on.
improvements.
This
and
is what your
seeing
boy
that come to life.
Hold
It gives you
on.
confidence.
Hold on. This is what I said. I haven't watched this yet. I have not watched this. This was just Corey's assumptions and wild ass thoughts. Listen to what Nikki Giavala asked and how he answers it. And we will prove Corey right here. I think he's lost them. Let's dive in.
Knowing that, okay, he's making the plays to, take it to the next spot. Yep.
you saw some frustrations boil over on the field with
Yes.
Ron and Kinlam. What were your vantage points of those incidents, and how do you keep that from spilling over into the locker room?
Yeah. It wasn't like spilling over into the locker room. It was more like, I get the frustration, but we've got to find a way to channel our frustration, better or different than that, like a penalties or an actions that, hurt our team. That part, it obviously addressed it hard at halftime about our poise and what it's got to look like and where it goes. And so to see that happen, okay, that's good. But I don't know what the difference in penalties, all those things, man, that can't happen. We're margins are here. And so when you make it harder, that takes away from it. So the frustration is not an excuse, I guess, that I'm trying to say, Nikki.
The team fracturing, given, just the overall frustration of losing.
No, I worry about the emotion of it, but not fracture.
The emotion is a fracture. Emotion ain't nothing but causes fractures. What are you talking about? You can't think emotionally. You can't think rationally with emotion. So if you cannot think with emotion, that means it creates a fracture. I'm sorry. Has he lost his mind? You know what? Damn it, I'm going to do it, y'all. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to open them up. I want to know what y'all think. I want to know what y'all think. I think I still have it where it is. Phone line's open. Call it in. Call in the call line. I got to talk. We got to talk. I may lose my mind on here. I really will. I may lose my mind on here. I'm going to make sure the number still works. Hold on. Got to make sure we pay that Google Voice bill, which is free. So we ain't got to worry about that. Let's see. There you go. Sanchez. It works. It works. The number's still hot, y'all. The number's still hot. So y'all want to call in? Call into the line. I'll pick you up. This way we ain't got to put your number on the screen or nothing like that this time. I got a new way to do it, damn boys. So we're good, and girls. So y'all just come on up, holler at your brother, and we'll get you on here. But yeah, let's continue to analyze this because I've already had an aneurysm 6 times. So let's go back to this. We only have 4 minutes.
Like they're tight, they're connected, the work's there. Frustration,
like the work's not there.
Visibly upset. Just why isn't going, like we want it to? And that's kind of what I was referring to with David earlier a little bit about. It's not the worst thing to go together right now, and it's kind of like not going away to camp, but going away. All right, let's talk through, find these spaces, and it might be these small things that we need to do differently that can add to it. Everybody's searching. We're frustrated, players, coaches, everyone, but ultimately, like I said, first things first, man. Like just into this week, what can we do better? Head into this game, and then breathe and okay, next set, and then I'll go from there.
Take 3 more.
3 more.
And obviously, everything falls under your responsibility as head coach. But as a guy for the defensive side, how bizarre is it to watch these other teams come in and just be able to score possession after possession against you guys?
Yeah, the last 2.5 games, I've been, obviously super disappointed. I thought, I guess what was it in Kansas City at the first half? I thought that was like okay, moving in the right space,
No,
and was the same a step forward and then backwards, and so it's not what we want, and that's a big part of us. Like I said, the identity and play style and all of it. So
are consistent, on defense, whether it's the missed tackles or coverage.
This is the unmitigated, icy cold bull crap that Kevin Sheehan pissed out after the Kansas City loss on Monday Night Football. They played good in the first half. And then, but he threw out the fact that, he being Sheehan, threw out the fact that, we got Mahomes. To me, this is what he's alluding to, too. He might not say it in so many words, but it's like, yeah, we played great in that first half, but then, we got Mahomes. He's saying it without really saying it. He's saying it without really saying it. We you know what? Hey, hell, boys, we gave it our valiant effort for the first 30 minutes. Guess what? The first 30 minutes don't win ball games. We don't get half a point for just showing up. This isn't 6th grade English, and just because you show up, you get 5 points for the damn project on Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. It's just not going to happen. It's for a culminating of what you put together, because the work was there, right? He said the work was there. The body of work was there, and they continued to work on this, that, and the third, but the performance wasn't there. There's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer had to put together he had to rebuild the foundation at the house on Evergreen Terrace. And I'll never forget it. And it was called the half-assed approach to foundation repair. Why do I say that? It's the half-assed approach to almost beating Kansas City. We played with them for a quarter. We played for them with a quarter. Anywho,
issues, whatever it may be. How do you sort of keep that optimism that there is a solution, that you can find one within the season and it's not just going to continue happening?
Yeah. I think when you show the examples when it's right, okay, this is what we look like, this is what it needs to be. When you find like the ups and downs, that's the part that is frustrating for everybody. Like yes here, no here, yes here, no here. And so I think I referred to it last week. Sometimes you see somebody over trying and getting out of a gap. I didn't sense that tonight, honestly. Like frustration for like why we're not executing, why we're not hitting our marks. But I didn't feel like somebody was, way out of space. Like I'm going to go try to make this play on this one, but I'll have a better chance to look at that, way out, not getting out of a gap. I didn't sense that here. And so,
hold on,
like,
let's go back.
Yes here, no here. Yes here, no here. And so I think I referred to it last week. Sometimes you see somebody over trying and getting out of a gap. I didn't sense that tonight, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't sense anybody trying over. That's the first right thing he said. I didn't sense anybody trying. We didn't sense anybody last night trying. This is the first right. We are. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on here. We are 9 minutes and 12 seconds into an 11-minute interview. Into an 11-minute interview. And he finally said facts. Let's continue.
Frustration for like why we're not executing, why we're not hitting our marks. But I didn't feel like somebody was, way out of space. Like I'm going to go try to make this play on this one, but I'll have a better chance to look at that tonight.
Yeah, nobody tried to make plays. Yeah, see, it felt like nobody made play. There you go, Dan. I appreciate your honesty.
Anger, frustration, all like the normal emotions you'd expect everybody to have right now. And like I said, I'm just kind of locked in on this week to say, all right, what do we do this week to, play like we're more capable of? And that's a short-term answer and solution, but we're not going to stay like it is either.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, given you're so locked in, are you even aware of like Air Force One flying over and the president being here? That's just not even.
No. One thing I really appreciate about being here with the team, like on Salute to Service, and here, like the amount of military leaders that are here and that I got to meet today, and it hits differently here. Like my background with Salute to Service has been one that like I really.
God bless you. Do a great job, Dan. Good job. Salute to service. Salute to you, sir. Wow. It took him 9 minutes to admit a truth. I don't get it. Yeah, that was a bad. Yeah, let's just throw. Good question. Good question for me. Yeah. Here we go. Here, y'all want to listen? Let's listen to the first part of what he learned after today. Here we go. This is one, Dan Quinn. And like I said, y'all want to call in, the number works. It's 661 Warpath. Let's see here. Share screen. God, he looked like he aged about 5 years after looking at that film. Here we go. Here's Dan Quinn today. Look at him. He looks so damn. Look at his face. It's sunken in. I mean, did he even change his shirt? That whoop trap might be busted too after that. Lord have mercy. Here we go. Let's watch Dan Quinn.
All right, Coach. Ready when you are.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'll get rolling. When something's not working, we shift from the question of why isn't it working to what do we need to do to get right. And right now, that'll call for some change. And I'll take over the role as the defensive coordinator. And all that entails. Known Joe as my right-hand man for years, and he took the news like the pro he is. As a defensive staff, including Joe, we're all consumed by getting it right. And that's exactly what we intend to do. And as far as like heading out on the trip and getting rolling, as we head out tonight, I've been a fan of extended road trips, whether it's training camp or, in season to the opposite coast. It can serve a lot of purposes. And this trip, that is literally the definition of that. And so for all of us, the players, the coaches, we're really consumed by getting it right and getting better. And a week together, we need that, every bit of it. Finally, I'll end on some tough news on the injury front. Trey Amos fractured his fibula, and that will knock him out for a while, so he'll miss some significant time. So all that said, I'll get started with you guys, and we'll get rolling.
Go ahead, Con.
What led to the decision to do this? How long you been thinking about that? Why now?
I think now, just after watching and reviewing the tape, we felt off. You've heard me say that word, John. And so I thought this is the time to add into that and lean in. Joe and I have got a great vibe together, John. We've worked together, through our time in Dallas, and we'll lean back into that space where, he'll help me along the way and all that leads up into the game and calling it into that space. So having Joe, and I been in that vibe together, we'll lean into that again, and we'll do that now.
Nikki?
Dan, what does this mean exactly for Joe's role going forward? If you're handling play calling and everything, that defensive coordinator, what that role is?
Yep. So Joe will be involved all week, obviously with the rest of the staff, and planning,
I feel like
getting ready for the game, and then on game day
I feel like this is malpractice that you have that you've given him so much credit to. And it's his boy. Like, I get this. I get that Joe Witt is his guy. He alluded to it, and it makes it so much harder. I don't fault him for that because, let's be honest, Bill Belichick had Matt Patricia, had nowhere to put him. He put him as an offensive coordinator. So, I mean, with that being said, I don't blame him. I don't fault him. But then some point, where is the Lord? Sometimes it's just like Chris Brown and Pastor Jamal Bryant said, these hoes ain't loyal. And that whole Joe Witt has not been loyal to the cause.
be in the press box.
He'll be in the press box.
With the vision on the coverage and the things that we need to do. And so, like I said, Nikki, I'm fortunate that we've been in that battle rhythm together during our time together in Dallas. And so we're going to try to slip into that spot, as quickly as we can.
Deshaun?
I know you guys have a lot of logistics that you're figuring out this week. Obviously, you're going to Madrid, but specifically about when it comes to practice field, getting ready for game day operations at the stadium. What sort of work went into preparing for that, throughout the year and during the season without being able to be on site there?
Yeah, Deshaun, that's a good one, man. There's been a lot of people here who spent a lot of time, to go into the spot to get ready. That's from practice to the hotel to where we'll go to when's the best time to travel and, time difference and, how to speed that up as we're going. So we've put a lot of work in. We've done some trips together, but not, overseas together. So we've tried to make it as much like a normal extended road trip so the players can just kind of focus on getting, exactly everything we want lined up to play like we can. So, but you're exactly right. There's been an army of people here behind the scenes that have taken trips, gotten things ready. So number of crew already went over earlier, and so they're ready for us.
David Aldridge?
David Aldridge.
Dan, what did you talk about with Duran in terms of his ejection yesterday, and regardless of why he did what he did?
Yeah, so I had a chance to visit with him today, and even regardless of the scenarios, man, like just the disciplines into that spot, David, that's what we talked about. Retaliation, not all of that aside, man, like protecting the team, top of the pile. And so they'll go through the process with the NFL this afternoon regarding an appeal, and then I'll have an update, for you just as soon as we can on that spot.
Tom? I guess a follow-up question on that point. Is he able to travel with the team if suspended? And can you provide a list of any other players who aren't going to be traveling to Madrid?
No, you're not allowed to travel if you're suspended. And so the 4 o'clock appeal or this afternoon, whatever time, that will be the determination time. If it wasn't settled by the takeoff, then you'd have to still wait. And then we'll give you an update tonight about who wouldn't else go.
Which he's not going.
I think who you'd be thinking. Terry will go. He will not play. Part of that rehab process for him. But like I said.
So there you go. Terry's not going, and they released Terry's not going. Jay's not going. Treylon Burks apparently had surgery on his finger, and then Terry's going to go to Spain, but we haven't seen him since the Kansas City game. What's the point? He should be over here rehabbing. He don't need to be going to Spain. What does he earn to go to Spain? Like, what has he earned to go to Spain? I'm not hating on Terry. Art still thinks he's elite. What has he done to earn that? Not a damn thing. Jaden ain't going. Hey, go on your time. Go on the off season then. Hell, you could have went that time when you were in the holdout. You could have went for a whole damn week.
Sean will send out a list for you tonight.
JP?
Hey, Dan, I'm just curious, you kind of said with Jaden, you're going to take it as it comes. How does yesterday's loss to Detroit impact your guys' decision-making process with Jaden?
Yeah, we didn't have anything that it impacted. We haven't been there, JP, with us yet. Focus has been on him getting better. He's doing all the right stuff. He only, this guy heals fast. So we haven't had any discussions regarding that, JP.
Okay, and then just any update on if Jaden's going to go to Spain?
He will not.
Yeah.
Scott?
Hey, Dan. As
that long silence says it all. Oh, man. You shouldn't be going. Shouldn't be going. Be lying, man.
taking over for, defensive play calling here, what type of an impact do you think you can make?
Scott Abraham, that got your question. Look at it. Let's hear that question one more time, Scott. Friend of the show. I gotta get Scott back on here one day.
Scott?
Hey, Dan. As taking over for, defensive play calling here, what type of an impact do you think you can make?
Woo, look at that face. Look at that face. Look at it. The frustrating. It's like Dave Chappelle when he's playing Black Bush. He's like, dang, why did I call on this dude? Why did I call on this dude? Why did they call on this dude? That's what it's looking like. Look at the face. Here we go. So it's been about a second.
Yeah, going into it is tough to.
He took 5 seconds to answer that question. He took 5 seconds to answer that question.
Decision, Scott, obviously, to go into that. I'm hopeful that we'll see, kind of the execution, the consistency that we're searching for. And that's number one, top of the pile to get that part right. We've been.
I mean, what do you expect? How do you expect him to answer that question? Is he going to throw his man under the bus? Probably not. Like, how is he supposed to answer that question? That's
digging for it. We haven't had it. We haven't found it. And so that type of consistency and execution, Scott, that's what I'm after. And that's the only reason behind the move. So that's what I'm going to have to chase first.
No, I don't know if you caught this. I want to get this quote right. Marcus Mariota said after the game, I don't think we are who we think we are.
No, they're not.
So with that being said, do you think in a sense it's time to recalibrate expectations, even from the fans and everybody in your building, of kind of where this team is going forward?
I think that's a fair question after a difficult game, and we've got to dig in, man. Like I said, we got to put everything we can, Scott, into this game and where we're at. There's the bye after that, but I'm not looking too far down the line. Like, how much better can we get this week, man? That's it. It's cool to have everybody going together. That's a big deal for us to.
Nah, this seems like we're in the damn
have everybody
Boy
together.
Scouts.
Go get.
Hey, we're gonna go together. We're gonna go together. Yep, we're gonna go on this scout trip. We're going to the scout trip. We're going camping. Oh my gosh.
Get our processes right, get our line of our football like we want to do it. It's going to be an awesome environment, but as far as like big picture stuff, I'm pretty like locked in on the present one now. I'll have a little more space to do that during the bye. There's not a player that I respect more than Marcus, so his insights are usually spot on, and you have to ask him, but we're not hitting the mark. It's fair to say that we're not doing the things we need to do to be who we want to be.
Thanks, Dan.
Chick. Ben?
Can't hear Chick.
Hey, Dan. So the culture, the brotherhood inside that locker room was such a big deal last year, and I'm not suggesting that it's fractured, but last year it really lifted you guys up. Why is that impact not seemingly taking place this year?
It's a great question, Ben.
I think we know
the consistency and the things that we need to do as a team, that has to lift us up. And if we do those things, you get a win, then you get back onto the space that you want to get to. So being in this slump that we've been in, emotionally it's hard, but man, you got it right. Like, you have to lift one another up. You have to perform to get those results as well. And I just felt
in touch.
Up and down nature of our performances have not led to us
better.
Performing better, and we're going to dig in hard on that, man.
Dig hard on it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, Charlie.
Safe travels, man.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you there.
There you go. There you go. Because I had nothing else. I mean, I absolutely had it. Nothing else. I didn't write anything down. I just came out here like, look, and after listening to this, I mean, you can tell where we are and why we are what we are. And I'm convinced we believed our own hype. We believed our own hype. And this is what happens when you believe your own hype. So I don't want to leave us all bad and everything like that. So I got to give you a funny here. So I've been doing these piñata videos the last couple of weeks. And this one, shout out to Deron Payne and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I hope you guys are big fans of Identity Theft with Jason Bateman, Liz McCarthy, whatever her name is. The big girl who was on Mike and Molly. Yeah. So let's take a look at it. So from yours truly, they may sue me for this later, but that's fine. There you go. One positive. Okay. Let's see here. There you go. One positive. It wouldn't let me do it, so I got to do it again. Here. Share screen. One positive.
Gotcha.
There you go. Gotcha. Gotcha. One more time. It's kind of like Medea.
Gotcha.
Not so fast, Amra. There you go. Boom. I had another one. Did I show you the other one? This one was oh, this is another one I made. Defense play callers. Here you go. Defense play callers seeing the Miami Dolphins with the Commanders. There you go. But this one was from last week. I'll show you two of them. I only did one of them. Never mind. I excuse the language in here.
Is no different. What you waiting for, Cool Breeze? Get buck naked right now. Get it off, son.
First of all, you better check your tone ring, man. I don't think you know who you're talking to. Little Washington. Don't give a butt naked for nobody. You want this role?
Brother.
You're gonna have to shoot me.
Okay.
There you go. There you go, y'all. Positive notes. You can take a positive and turn it into a negative. There you go. Or a negative into a positive. Y'all, I see. Art, I'm always there for you, brother. Always get good. Finally, someone scored in this game. Was it Philadelphia? I don't know. Well, y'all, I hope for the few of y'all that were out there tonight, appreciate y'all pulling up. Hopefully, make you laugh. I will see y'all at 9 o'clock on, 9:15. And once I roll out of bed, I'm probably going to have to get the boy ready so he can go with his grandfather to church. But before then, shout out to Polly, who did not come up here. So it is what it is, man. I'll give him a call afterwards and say, hey, where were you? But till next time, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Finally, someone scored in this game. Oh, the Eagles. I just read that. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, but till next time, y'all. Sanchez 405. Love, peace, hell. Till next time, we are out. We keep the same damn energy. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks.